Hello. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Kreate Day 16. Wow. We had a 2-day break and we're back. We're back and we're very, very ready. We're very ready to set structures that would ensure we smash our creative goals. In fact, one of the things we worked on during this 2-day break we had is a very structured calendar, a very structured timetable, and it's very intentional. I want to assure you that if you follow this day 16 to 30 consistently, you would have all the tools you need to be an effective creator in 2025. You would have all the tools if you follow and if you listen and if you apply. You would have all the tools. So are you ready for the ride? Are you ready for the ride? From day 1 to day 15, I would say that everything we set up is a background to make the best of this next 15 days. And it's a background in the sense that everything we have gotten has set you in position to start creating. Now we're getting very tactical. And what do I mean by tactical? Let me know if you can hear me, by the way. What do I mean by tactical? I mean, we're getting into the nitty-gritty. You're going to see the whole creation process, and we're going to look at different angles, different possible problems, and we're going to figure all this stuff out together. And this is what we're doing in Create 30 for the next 15 days. So buckle up and let's get right into it. The way we're going to be structuring it from now is in series. We're going to have 5 major series with three parts in each series. 5 major series with 3 parts in each series. The first series is content creation, and we have 3 parts in content creation. We have content strategy, we have a format spotlight, we talk about talking head videos, and we have setting up your channel for success. The second series we have is video editing. We'll have 3 parts of that as well. We have the third part, which is audience building and engagement, consistency and time management, and finally we'll talk about monetization. And then we have a grand finale, and I can't wait. So in the next 2 weeks, thereabouts 2 weeks, I believe exactly next week Saturday would be the grand finale. So you don't want to miss it, definitely. We're 5 minutes in, and we're just going to get straight into today's session because we have a lot for today. So, content strategy. What is content strategy? Generally, when you think about strategy, your mind goes to a systematic way of approaching, any endeavor with planning, with adequate planning and adequate preparation. Strategy is like, what direction are you going? What do you need to set in place before you head in that direction? That's what strategy is generally. And when we talk about content strategy, as much as we have been shouting, you need to create and you need to create now, you need to get the momentum going, it's important that at some point you start thinking about your strategy. You start thinking about how you want to be effective at what you do, making sure that you have a strong, clear voice, and you use that voice to achieve what it is you want to achieve. So when we talk about content strategy, that's basically what we're talking about. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. All right, so let's dive into it. In this session, we're going to look at 3 main parts. The first part is, what should I create? We're going to answer 3 big questions. What should I create? Who should I create for? And how often should I create? And I would call this the 3 questions that make up your content strategy. And as we go on in this session, I want you to grab a notebook, grab a writing material, and I'm going to be asking questions, and I want you to think deeply and also write it down, because I want to believe that at the end of this session you'd have a framework to build on your content strategy. You'd have some level of clarity. So let's get into it. What should I create? It's important to know what you want to create. It's important to know your why. I've always talked about creativity from a standpoint of purpose. Why do you want to create? Do you want to create because there's something you have that you want to share with the world? Are you funny? Are you an artist? Are you educated in a particular field? Are you a professional? You want to share this with the world. That should be your why. You need a why. What is the reason you're creating? Do you want to create to discover more about yourself? Is it a self-discovery endeavor? Is it for business purposes? Do you want to create because you want to build more awareness about the business you offer? Do you want to create because you want to create more awareness for your ministry? Why do you want to create? This is an important question to answer. So in your notebook, just write, why should I create? What value are you offering? That's the question you need to answer. What value are you offering? What value are you offering? So I want you to take a moment and answer that question. What value are you offering? Why? For me, and I've said this many times, my biggest drive, the biggest reason I'm creating is because I want to empower and inspire other people to create. Why? Why do I want to do this? Why do I believe this? Because I believe that the future of humanity is greatly influenced by media. And I believe that most of the media that is out there, this is not the media that I want my children to grow up consuming. I believe that there are a lot of valuable people with valuable insights, with valuable standpoints, but they are not putting it out. Especially there's a certain community that I'm targeting mostly, and that is the Christian community. I'm a Christian as well, and I believe that now more than ever, Christians need to be out there. We need a body of work. So that's my personal drive. Now, what is yours? What is yours? Why do you want to create? Why do you want to create? Why do you want to create? Write it down. Another question you need to answer is, how can you package this value in a format? So your overarching theme, your overarching theology, your overarching philosophy, how can you package it in a format? This might drive to empower and inspire others to create valuable content, to create content that is worth hearing, worth watching, worth consuming. There are so many ways I can convey this message. I can convey this message through films. I can convey this message through podcast episodes. I can convey this message through vlogs. There are so many ways I can convey the message. It's a central message, but it needs to be packaged in a format. What is a format? A format is basically the way you package your message. What are the parameters around that message? How do you convey it? Is it long form? Is it short form? Is it 30-second reels? Is it 1 hour podcast? Is it a podcast with guests? Is it a podcast with yourself? Is it a talking head video? Are you sitting to the camera and talking? Or do you have cinematic clips that you now do voiceovers over? Right? Is it a skit? Do you have different characters? What is your format? And ideally, I would advise you to, alright, Jonathan wants to create to nurture the next generation of Africans. That's a beautiful goal. He wants to create to nurture the next generation of Africans. So that means there's a message he wants to convey to the next generation of Africans. How can you package it? What format can you package it? You need to think about this. What format can you package it? So I've given you different examples of formats. Now you need to, ideally, I would suggest that at the beginning you pick 2 or 3 formats that you want to test. But if it's too much, you can start with 1 format and you can, move. But if you have the capacity, start with 2 or 3 formats. For example, at Isaac the Creator, currently we have 3 major formats. The first format is these daily live streams, right? That's Kreate. It's a format. Another format is the YouTube videos that I post. I'm supposed to be posting once a week, but actually, the video I post this week, you're going to see why I missed last week. So, sorry about that. But yes, that's another format, right? That's separate from Kreate. And we have a third format, which is Reels. And our Reels are usually cut out from a longer format, but sometimes we have unique Reels that are standalone. So those are my 3 formats that I'm testing. Now, after a few months, maybe in March, in April, I can look back and see which format did well, which format did not do well, which format can I double down on. So the question is, what is your format? That your overarching voice. How can you package it in a format? You need to write it down. And your format doesn't have to be perfect. What comes when you write it down, you test it. There's always room for testing. So now with that, you should have answered the question, what should you create? With that, you should have a clear picture of what you want to create. Now, the second big question that makes up your content strategy is, who should I create for? With the nature of the internet, when you create, you're not just creating for yourself. It's possible and it's good to create for yourself, but for you to make significant change or significant impact in the world, you have to have a certain mindset of creating for somebody else. And you have to be clear on who you're creating for. The creator that knows their audience the best wins. The creator that knows their audience the best wins. I have a brother and I have a mother. There's a way I'll talk to my brother that is different from the way I'll talk to my mother. The fact that I know is my brother I'm talking to would give me the leverage or the liberty to be able to craft a message that is specific to my brother. If I talk to my mother the way I talk to my brother, I might be homeless. I might be kicked out. I'm just kidding. But yes, I wouldn't talk to my mother the way I'll talk to my brother. Why am I saying this? I'm saying that, have you ever seen a piece of content or a video, anything, and it resonated with you? You were like, this is for me. You just knew that this was for you. It resonated with you so well. Now, whoever is behind that has created a picture of the audience that looks exactly like you. That's why it resonated so much. There are some creators I know that, it resonates a lot. What they create resonates a lot. So, you have to answer the question, who should you create for? And I'm going to be giving you a couple of questions that you can answer to understand who you're creating for. Write it down. Number 1, what are their dreams and aspirations? The person you're creating for, what are their dreams and aspirations? For me, I'm creating for people that want to make a change in the world. People that are tired of the narratives that are currently being pushed out. People that want to make a change in the world. People that have a voice and they don't know how to, and they want to hone that voice to make an actual change in the world. So somebody can have a passion for reaching out to people in remote areas, people that don't have access to some amenities that we have access to. That person has a passion, they have a voice, and for them to make a change in the world, they have to rally people. They have to, get donations to take to those people. They have to rally people that will volunteer and go with them. How can they hone their voice to create media that will now make that change in the world? So that's their dream and aspiration. So for you, what are the dreams and aspirations of the people you are creating for? Write it down. Number 2, what are their values and beliefs? Values and beliefs, what do they value? What do they deem as important? So for me, I'll say that the person I'm creating for values, they value I'll call it a sense of morality, right? I'll call it, they value morality, they value justice, they value that good prevails. Because the person I'm creating for is not a person that is doing malevolent things. It's not a person that is trying to use the media to instigate violence or create evil. That's not who I'm creating for. And in my voice, you know that I'm not creating for that person. I'm creating for the person that wants good to prevail in different areas, in politics, in health, in education, no matter their industry. I'm creating for that person that wants good to prevail. So that's one of the value. Another value is hard work. I'm creating for people that are ready to put the work in. That's why we're doing a 30-day live stream. It's not many people that are able to stay for 30 days in a row. But the people that are able to stay, I know that the value they will gain is significant, and they are going to make that change that they need. So I'm creating for someone that values work ethic. So what are the values of the people you are creating for? You can be creating for people that value relaxation and recreation, right? People that value fun, people that value a good laugh. That can be, the set. You need to figure out what do they value. Having a picture of what they value would give you a voice, would give you a direction to create, a voice to create through. Number 3, you have to answer, what is their experience? Both generally and in the area that you're creating in. What's their experience? Let's even take some alternative examples. Let's say the reason you are creating is to promote a business. What is their experience with similar businesses like that? Let's say it's a clothing brand. What do you think is their experience? Are they used to buying online? So if you know that, there are people that are the regular buyers online, then you know how to position your message. If you know that there are people that might be new to buying online, you know how to try to convince them that, you can create some content that will tell them, here are ways to know that your vendor is secure, your vendor is safe. That kind of voice based on the fact that you know who your audience are. So you have to determine who your audience are. My dog likes shouting at this time. You not shout any other time. Brave, keep quiet. I'm sorry for that. Yeah. All right. So what do they value? What do they value? Is that the question I'm asking? Sorry, what's their experience? What's their experience? Another question you can ask is, how can you align? So in the case of Ice the Creator, the person I'm creating for, ideally, they must not have prior experience in creating. They must just have that drive. That's why Ice the Creator is breaking down some concepts, trying to break it down simply, starting from the scratch, so that they understand. So that's my ideal audience. Do you understand? So my content might not appeal to people that are more advanced. Do you understand? For now, it might not appeal to people. Yes, some content would appeal to them, in terms of shaping the ideology. But when I get very tactical, like when I'm teaching basics of video editing, that kind of thing, they might not resonate with it because I'm not going very advanced for now. Do you understand? So what is the experience and how can I align? That's the ultimate question. How can you align to this your audience? So now you have answered two big questions: what should you create and who you should create for. Once you have answered these two big questions, you have a general framework of a content strategy. That in itself is your content strategy, and you want to keep this where you can always see it. So whenever you're creating, you are referencing that, and you know how to shape your voice in the direction of what it is, who you're creating for, and what you're creating. I believe that if you're following this, you're also writing down, because I want you to do this in real time. By the way, every class we have, every session we have is building up on the past session. So if we are coming tomorrow, we are going to be coming with the assumption that you already have a content strategy. That's why I want you to be doing everything we are doing in real time. So every day you are coming, you come with your notebook. Well, like I told you before, my ideal audience are people that value work ethic. They are people that want to get things done. They are not people that just passively watch. You understand? They are people that have impetus for action. So I believe that you have impetus for action, and you are writing these things down. Number 3, the three questions you have to answer in terms of your content strategy. How often should I create? How often should I create? How often should I create? The first thing that you have to think about, how much time do you have available to create? And you have to be honest with yourself, because it's easy to say, oh, I don't have enough time. But the thing is, if this thing is valuable to you, then you can create time. So I'm not saying this question to give you the excuse to not create. No. I'm saying if you can realistically create time, how much time do you actually have? And what can you fit in this time? I'll give you an example. For me, I would say in a week, if I pull up my calendar right now, I can pull up my calendar. In a week, I roughly have, on Saturday, I roughly have 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I roughly have 4 hours for shooting. I roughly have 3 hours for editing. And then I roughly have another 3 hours for writing in a whole week. Yes, so in the total of 3 plus 3 plus 4, that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. In 10 hours in a week, I know at least I can create one good YouTube video in that 10 hours, right? Based on my standard of a YouTube video. Many of you can create a lot more if you are given 10 hours, but based on the way I create, based on the complexity of my creation process, I can create one YouTube video per week. Yes, and I can also have time to I can also do lives with this time, and I can also edit lives in this time, or at least I can create systems that the lives get edited. Do you understand? So you have to ask yourself, how much time do you have to create? Remember, we already talked about bulk creation. So when you're thinking about the time you have to create, you're not thinking about you're not thinking about you doing the whole creation process every day, right? Like you write, you shoot, you edit, and you post in one day, then the next day you start again. We are always thinking from the context of bulk creation. So the question is, how much time do you have? Another question is, what's your approach to your creator journey? What's your approach to your creator journey? Are you trying to be a full-time creator? Do you have something else you are doing and your creation journey is an addition? If you want to be a full-time creator, how often you create would look a lot different. Do you understand? So if you want to be a full-time creator, at most you should have something out every day, because that's your full-time job. Why are you not having something out every day? Do you understand? If you want to be a full-time creator, if you want to, for most of us, I want to believe that we are part-time creators. For part-time creators, we might not necessarily have something out every day, but here's my recommendation. If you are creating long form, what is long form? Long form is, I'll consider long form anything 5 minutes up, right? YouTube is the hub form. If you're creating long form YouTube videos, I'll suggest, as I'm doing, one video every week. At least one video every week. if you're creating short form in 2025, actually you should have seasons where you can do one video every day, but in general at least 3 videos a week. That's the barest minimum. 3 videos a week. That's my suggestion. 3 videos a week. So you have to create a system where you can create 3 videos a week. Do you understand? And if you're bothered about time management and streamlining the creation process, that's why we have Kreate. But I want you to first of all have the mindset that, okay, this is what I'm going to do. Understand? So long form, I'll suggest 1 a week. Short form, I'll suggest 3 a week. If possible, make it 5 a week. Maybe every weekday. Do you understand? For short form. By short form, I mean Reels, TikToks, all those 1 minute, 30 seconds, 30-second videos. Do you understand? So have at least 3 a week. And the last question you answer is, what are your goals? What are your goals? What are your short-term goals? What are your long-term goals? If your short-term goal is to grow your following to, let's say, 1,000 in the next 3 months, and you want to make at least 100 sales. Let's say you are in a business, you are a business creator, right? You're creating from the standpoint of a business. For you to achieve that goal, you might need to create a lot more than somebody that his goal is to just get better at the craft. For someone that their goal is to just get better at the craft, maybe they can get away with posting fewer, but the truth is that if you even post more often, you get better faster. So you just have to think about, what do you want to accomplish in the short term. And when you set a goal like that, I want to advise that you set goals in 3 month blocks, right? You set 3-month goals. This way, if you set longer than that, let's say you set 6-month goals or 1 year goal, the thing is that a lot of things change and you don't give yourself enough flexibility to adjust to the landscape, to the market, to what is working, what is not working. But when you have 3 months in advance, when you have goals that last for 3 months, for example, like you start creating in January and you want to review everything you are doing in March, that way you would have had enough information to know what is working, what is not working. Do I need to create more? Is the the quantity of my output, is it enough? So when you have all this, then you have a content strategy. So when you decide the days in the week you want to create, let's say you want to create Monday, let's say you want to post Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday and Friday, right? That's pretty standard posting schedule. So now you have a content strategy. You now have a content calendar, so you can plan your content ahead. And we're going to get into, let me just get into it now. So we have already answered 3 questions: what you should create, who you should create for, and how often you should create. It's very important to have a content calendar, meaning planning your content ahead. And what I'll suggest, remember that I said that everybody doing create, I believe, and I want to be that they have impetus for action. And what I'll recommend that asks me, how do I start creating? First of all, I'll say we figure out who you are creating for and how you're packaging that, what format you're packaging that in. I would say write 50 to 100 ideas. Just write enough ideas. Let's say 100 is too much. Start with 25. Start with 50. Write 25 ideas in a row. Let me show you that I practice what I preach. For the next, where is that page? See, I don't know if you can see it. Let me check my brainstorming content ideas. I don't know if you can see the headline. You can see the page is full with ideas, right? It's important to have a load of ideas. Precious, you're late. It's important. So I have 25 ideas in one section. These are another 25, so that's 50, right? And I have more coming. So you write enough ideas. Why are you writing so many ideas? You might not end up executing all of them, but you need to have brainstorming sessions so that when it's time to shoot, when it's time to create, you don't, or write, you don't have to start brainstorming, oh, what should I create today? You have a bank. So you need to have an idea bank, and you need to keep on filling the idea bank. So every time you think of an idea, make sure it's accessible, right? So that you can quickly write that idea on your idea bank. Why are you doing this? So that you can plan your content out. When you sit down at the beginning of the week and say, okay, I need to make so videos this week. You can say, okay, on Monday I'll make this one, on Tuesday I'll make this one, on Wednesday I'll make this one. I would have loved to talk about content pillars, but we are out of time. Let me know in the chat. Should I spend extra 5 minutes to talk about content pillars, or should I close now? It depends on you. I'm respecting your time. So let me know. Let me know quickly. Okay. I'll talk briefly about content pillars. I've not received any answer yet, but I'll talk briefly about content pillars. So remember that we talked about formats, right? So imagine you have a format that is reels, 30-second reels that are skits, right? What I'll call content pillars are they are the various types. Under one format you can have different content pillars, and content pillars are I'll call them the type of content, right? And let me give you examples, because I know that's not a good explanation. But for example, when I was creating reels on Instagram, I had 3 major content pillars. Number 1 content pillar was story driven content. Content pillar was education, teaching, and number 3 content pillar was inspiration. Do you understand? All of them are the same format. The format are reels, right? 1 minute reels. But why do you want to mix up the content pillars? Because even if your goal is to be teaching people, sometimes people want to connect with the human being behind the knowledge, behind the value, especially for people that sell as well, people that have businesses. As much as you want to position your product in front of people, you also want to have times where they just learn more about who you are as a person, right? Tell them a fun story. So today I went to the bank and this happened, right? That has nothing to do with what you're selling. That has nothing to do with the education, but it's making you more human. People can relate more. So that can be a content pillar. Then you can have inspirational content, right? So that's just an example. So you can have 2 to 3 content pillars, and in a week you say, okay, Monday I post education, Tuesday I post story, Wednesday, Friday I post fun or inspiration, right? So you can just do something, but generally it's advisable that you post more content that is focused on the value you are offering than the content that just gives more insight about who you are and gives more insight about just fun and vibes. Do you understand? So for example, if I'm posting 5 videos a week, and I've already told you that my aim is to empower and inspire people that have something valuable to offer the world to create more, right? On those 3 days, I'm focusing on creating content that would achieve that goal, right? So I'm focusing on creating things that will teach them how to create content, teach them the strategies behind creating content, teach them the technicalities, how to avoid or how to navigate certain problems. Then on day 4, I can now just do a vlog. Now people will like, oh wow, so you're a medical student, oh wow, so this is how your day looks, oh wow. You understand? They're connecting more, but they still know that my main value is these 3. And then on the 4th day, I can just tell a content creator joke, for example, right? Why did the chicken cross the road with the camera? So something, right? So funny joke, whatever. Do you get? So you want people to be able to relate with you as a human being beyond just what it is. So it's not all the time serious, right? So, and I thank God that I'm even saying this now, because I realize that I need to also create more relatable content, right? Content that will make people relate to me. So thank you very much for joining me Make sure you join the Create community. If you have any questions, if you have any suggestions, drop it in the community. Actually, I would spend a few minutes after every live on the community in case you have any questions. I'll just peep on the community. So if you have any question, drop the question there and we'll flesh it out live so that you can get real-time feedback. And see you on the next one. Good night.
How was today's session? I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't hesitate to let me know in the comment section. Now, to ensure that you put everything you learned into practice, we are building a community of creators just like me and you that come together to keep each other accountable, to share ideas, and to grow together. The name of this community is called Create Community. To be a part of this community is simple and it's free. All you have to do is click the link pinned in the live chat or the link in the description. Thank you so much and see you tomorrow. Bye.